So you're thinking about buying your first home here in Massachusetts? Yeah, it can feel like trying to solve this giant, impossible puzzle. But here's the thing. What if the key pieces are actually right there, waiting for you? Well, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to show you exactly how to put it all together.
I bet if you've even started to browse listings, you're nodding along right now, right? It's tough out there, especially somewhere like Southeastern Massachusetts. I mean, prices can just jump like crazy from one town to the next. It makes it so easy to feel like, my budget is it's never going to be enough. The whole thing just feels overwhelming.
But hang on. Here's the good news. There are these doors, opportunities, just waiting to be opened, and you might not even see them yet. Believe it or not, you've probably got way more support than you realize, and we're about to show you where all of it is hiding.
Okay, so first things first. Let's talk about that big hurdle, right? That feeling. The one that stops so many of us in our tracks before we even really begin. You know the story, I'm sure. You're doing everything right. You're saving up, you're scrolling through the listings, but then every single house you actually like seems just a little bit out of reach. It's that feeling of being priced out. And let me tell you, it's real, and it's probably the single biggest roadblock for anyone trying to buy their first place. So you gotta wonder, right? How are some people pulling this off, even when their savings account isn't exactly overflowing? Well, here's the secret. They're tapping into some hidden opportunities, and these things, they are absolute game changers. So, what are they? They're called first-time buyer programs, and the idea behind them is actually really simple. We're not talking about some complicated loophole here. These are just financial tools. Think grants, special kinds of loans, all designed to help you with the two biggest elephants in the room, the down payment and those closing costs. But why do these things even exist? Well, it's actually pretty cool. It's not just about getting you into a house. It's bigger than that. It's about building stronger communities. See, when more people own their homes, it's good for the local economy. It creates stability. So when you win, the whole community kind of wins too. That's why they're set up to be so helpful. All right, so with that in mind, let's open up the Massachusetts Toolkit. We're going to look at the specific tools you can use to get into that first home. Okay, let's break down 3 of the heavy hitters here in the state. First up, you've got MassHousing. This one is all about tackling those big upfront costs that just stop people cold. Then there's the One Mortgage program. And honestly, this one is a powerhouse. You're talking a low down payment, a nice, stable rate, and get this, it often gets rid of private mortgage insurance. That can literally save you hundreds of dollars every month. Finally, there's Mass Dreams. This program can give you some serious grant money if you're buying in one of the eligible communities.
See, each one of these is like a different key for a different lock. The magic happens when you figure out which key is the perfect fit for your door, It all depends on your money situation and what you're trying to do.
But wait, there's more. The help doesn't just stop at the Massachusetts border. There's a whole other layer of programs out there that can give you even more options.
Yeah, the support system gets way bigger when you start looking at the federal level. You've probably heard of some of these. FHA loans, VA loans, USDA loans. These are incredibly powerful. For instance, FHA loans are great because they're pretty flexible on credit scores. And then VA loans for veterans, or USDA loans if you're looking at a more rural spot. I mean, these can sometimes let you buy a home with 0 down payment. No down payment at all. Think about that.
Okay, I get it. This is a lot of program names, and it can all sound a little abstract. So let's make it real. Let's talk about an actual success story out of Taunton that shows you exactly what can happen when you find the right fit.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling we were talking about. Imagine this, a young buyer just totally trapped in that renting cycle, doing all the right things, saving up, but it never felt like enough. Every time they found a place they loved, it was just out of reach.
So what changed? Well, they went from feeling completely stuck to discovering the One Mortgage program. And that piece of information was everything. It was the key. Suddenly, with a lower down payment and a rate they could count on, they had the confidence to actually go for it. And the result? They bought a fantastic little starter home right near Taunton Green. That impossible dream? It became their reality.
And that story right there really brings it all home. Your path to owning a home might not look like you think it will, and that's okay.
Which leads us to probably the biggest surprise of all for most people. You just have so many more options than you think you do. This isn't some secret trick or a loophole. These are real, established programs. They're pathways built specifically to help people get into homes, even if your savings aren't, perfect.
So that leaves us with one last question, and it's for you. Now that you know this whole toolkit is out there, what could your homeownership story look like? Because odds are, that first home is a whole lot closer than you think.